Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Beastmasters Club podcast. Today, we have a special edition of the podcast for you guys. We are going to have the first ever face-off between Steve, the Smoky Beast Zeller, and Jake, the Whiskey Warrior Cahill. So this is the first edition of Smoky Beast versus Whiskey Warrior. So obviously we have all of those players here today. So just to introduce Jake Cahill to the podcast, Jake, better known as the Whiskey Warrior, is currently the spirits coordinator for Vanderbilt Wine Merchants. They're a store in Prospect Heights, Brooklyn, and he does his thing there. If you ever need any advice on some spirits or getting your wine collection in order, definitely give him a shout over there. He would be glad to help you. Today, we are also joined by Mrs. Smoky Beast, Dana
Hello.
Zeller. Welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Oh, we're
Bringing
mighty
out the
glad
big
to have
guns.
you.
Sorry, was I supposed to say hi? Thanks. I'm happy to be here.
Just remain quiet, please.
Yeah, speak when spoken to, sir.
This is what happens when you enter the Beast's lair
Right.
with the name Warrior in your title. A lot of sharp eyes are being thrown my way.
You're
right
like
now.
Beowulf, come to challenge the monster. So to this first showdown between the Smoky Beast and the Whiskey Warrior is all about the best bourbon under $75. So we here at the Beastmasters Club tasked these two champions with finding us their two best under $75 bourbons, and today they're going to present them for us, and I will play referee and make sure that nothing crazy goes on, and Dana and I are going to kind of judge and determine where we think we land. Obviously, these two
Cheap bastards.
Just so everyone
I mean,
knows.
thank you for having me.
Yeah. I'm wearing one of those water polo helmets that look like a big diaper. So note you're pulling aloud. I know
Yeah.
Steve likes to play dirty. And,
Straight to the nuts.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what happens under the water stays there. I learned that by watching the Olympics.
That's right. Yeah, you got to watch it. I played water polo in high school, and it's a nasty sport. It is. It's evil.
Well,
played
we
water
should
polo in high school.
explain.
I did.
We should though explain the Whiskey Warrior tag for you. I think.
Yeah, that'd be
because
great.
Jake is not only the Whiskey Warrior name; he actually appeared on American Ninja Warrior.
He did indeed.
Yeah, that was one of the best experiences of my life. That was a lot of fun, man. And they decided to dub me the Whiskey Warrior because apparently they'd never had anybody on this fitness show before that likes to drink as much as I do.
There you go.
So
Yeah.
I was there representing the bourbon drinkers, and
I feel like that's the start of a premise for a new show.
gosh, I don't know. They should-
American Ninja, like drunk
Drunk
American
Ninja
Ninja Warriors.
drunken ninja warrior. Yeah,
I saw a YouTube clip of that. With
I would
these
totally
Russian
be
guys
on that
have
show.
to drink a whole bottle of vodka before swimming laps. Pretty awesome.
That's a bit, well,
There's
I guess
a-
if you throw up, you can just keep no mess to clean up, right? It's just in the water. You're good.
How about
yeah.
the rest of the people swimming in the pool?
No, it was
That's
a
an
dedicated
added
pool.
obstacle.
One of them just sank straight to the bottom. The other one, I think, jumped out the window, got in his car, and like drove out in circles through the parking lot. They drank a whole bottle of vodka. It was,
Is that some kind of Russian sport?
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like
Yeah.
Russians are bored.
that's
it's
just how
cold,
that's how they
and
hydrate.
It's a long winter.
It was really low proof vodka. That's water to them. It's the high proof stuff they drink when they're out.
Yeah, so Jake was on season 8 of American Ninja Warrior,
Yeah,
and he's hoping to be back for number 9.
Hoping, filming right now. My body hurts because we're filming some footage for that
wow.
right now. So
Cool.
So bourbon helps recovery.
Well, let me get to it, dude. You've really let yourself go.
Yeah, good thing this is a podcast and not a
Jake makes us
video.
all look like couch potato slobs.
Yeah,
myself
it's
picturing
hard when you're sitting next to like one of the fittest men in New York City. You're like, you can't help but feel slightly inadequate.
I feel very awkward right now. I'm just gonna drink my water.
Can I feel your pecs a little? Just a little? Just a little?
Depending on who you vote the winner of this competition, yes.
I've got some oil in the other room. We can, yeah.
I've got
Now
oil,
we're talking.
I've got oil in my back pocket.
a whole new meaning to greasing the judges.
Ooh.
Zing! Dad joke.
Love a pun.
Moving
All
on.
right.
All right, so without any further ado, first number 1 face-off between Smoky Beast and the Whiskey Warrior.
Beastmasters Club, experiencing the world's finest whiskey, one bottle at a time.
Okay, so for the face-off here, each of these guys is going to present their whiskeys one at a time. So we're going to go. Who's first?
Well, you want to run through a list of what we've got?
No, no. I think
No,
we should- we're gonna-
one
we're
at a
gonna-
time.
we're
We'll
gonna
reveal them one at a time.
Unleash them upon the crew here.
So who's going first?
Unleashed. Well, mine's first because I brought the baby bourbon.
The
Flip the
baby
coin.
bourbon.
This is probably going to be the lightest proofed bourbon that the Smoky Beast has had in a very long time.
It's also such a cute little bottle.
It is a cute little bottle. So these actually didn't come in 375s. This was a used 375 I had, and I transferred it to a 375 when it was halfway. So
All
it'll
right.
stay nice and fresh.
So we're going to start off with Jake.
Yeah.
And take us in.
Okay, so the first Whiskey Warrior whiskey that I brought to the table tonight. This was really hard, by the way, to narrow down to like two of the best bourbons out of so many good bourbons that are out there, and so many that I've got open at home. It was like choosing between like my favorite stuffed animals when I was a kid, and this was really hard to bring these two to the table. But after
You're already showing signs of weakness.
Hey, let's keep it friendly. Let him do his introduction here, okay?
No, I'm all about the mental game.
this is why
Return to your corner.
he's breaking me.
It's too bad this is a podcast because this is amazing to watch right now. Keep going. Keep going, gents.
Okay, so get off me. So the first thing I brought, I'm part of this really fun barrel club called Bonded in Bourbon. And it's this great group of guys. We're all around the country. Facebook is unfortunately what keeps us together all the time. But we're essentially a barrel club that is brought together by different barrel pickings. And we've worked with various distilleries in the past. Now, this was a barrel that was picked before I was actually inducted into the group, because you do have to go through a rigorous process, of which I will not disclaim on the radio. It's a little inappropriate to get in.
We're not actually on the radio, but that's okay.
We didn't know. So this is a private barrel we did with Buffalo Trace. So this is standard issue mash bill number 1 Buffalo Trace, but to a 9th degree that we thought was a really, really particularly delicious barrel. And it really is. Now, unfortunately, with Buffalo Trace, unlike a lot of the other barrel picks that you can do through these great distilleries, they have to proof it down to 90 proof. And when you taste it at barrel proof, and then you can do your own tastings or whatever. So they tasted this at barrel proof. They thought it was extremely exceptional, and it was. And then it got proofed down to 90 and was sent out. This was a barrel that was picked in the beginning of the summer of 2015, and I still have a bottle of it left. Unfortunately, this is not something that you can buy, but this is something that if you're fortunate enough to become a friend of mine over the next year, you might be able to get an ounce or two. So I brought this
A
to the
mere
table.
ounce or two. What an offer. So generous.
You know, an ounce for you, 2 ounces for me. And
Okay.
none for Steve.
Sweet.
So yeah. So that's this guy. I just think it really embodies a really beautiful, nice. I love cask strength bourbons, but I think it's really great to still be able to have a nice low proof bourbon, something to start the day off with. So, you know,
Opener.
just something a little bit lighter. You get all those flavors. This is, a nice traditional style of bourbon.
Cheerio.
Here we go.
It's good. It's definitely low proof
Yeah, it's nice
compared
and
to
light.
some of our other burners,
Totally.
Oh, yeah.
but it's
once
good.
you get used to the high test, it's like a little bit of a departure. But this is very tasty.
The nose is really soft. I have to admit, even out of a Glencairn, it doesn't exactly jump out. Now, the bottle has been open for like maybe 6 months or so, but the aromatics are still there once you dig in, which you can definitely dig in a little bit more on
Yeah,
this.
you can. It opens like if you really kind of take a deep sniff.
It's very floral a little bit. I mean,
Yeah.
it's because it does feel like a little bit soft. It smells, has a soft nose, if you will.
Yeah.
Just kind of feels like, it's just not as spicy as other things that I've had.
Well, also, I think Buffalo Trace's mash bill number 1 is a really high corn mash bill. I think they only use about 10% rye or so, with I think the standard 5% malted barley or whatever. So it's pretty much about I think it's 75 to 80% corn. I'm not 100% sure.
It definitely, to me, has a little bit of a, like it's almost like somebody put a giant garden inside of a caramel factory on the nose.
So, unfortunately, our listeners can't get this anywhere
Unfortunately, yeah.
But what can we offer that might be similar?
Well, this is what I would say. So this does stand away from standard issue Buffalo Trace. I would like it is just a notch above it. Now standard issue Buffalo Trace is really good. I mean, it's always got a spot on my shelf. It's really great for when friends come over, if you want a cocktail, whatever. This just stands out as a top-notch sipper, in my opinion. I would say just keep an eye out for other store picks. A lot of stores do private picks of Buffalo Trace, and they're always super affordable. We're talking like $30, $35 max, maybe here in the city, and that's amazing. Now, granted, it's proof down, but a lot of people like that. You know, like not everyone wants that big cast strength monster that's gonna rip your face off. You know, like this is great.
This is kind of like a good like summer kind of warmer month type of thing, and
Heck
like
yeah.
definitely something good for maybe who's starting
Sure.
their whiskey experience, if you will.
I get kind of wood shop, like sawdust and fresh. Have you eating that? Kind of like a wood shop.
Yeah, it's got that
Little
sawdusty
yeah.
thing going on.
Pencil
Yeah.
shaving.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Now, even for something that's like so light and already kind of proof down, I love the texture. It is still a little bit oily, and you get that great sweetness. It's really chocolatey. It's almost like
Yes.
if you actually like let like an M&M sit in your mouth and actually like let it melt. It's got that like weird kind of taste.
does have a
Liquor-y,
more-
it's like liquor. Yeah.
I've never been able to successfully do that.
It's more of a
I'm gonna savor this one.
chocolate, though.
Chomp.
Yeah.
It's more of a milk chocolate though than like a dark chocolate.
Yeah,
It
totally.
has that mellowed out, like kind of all smoothed out softness to everything in this. Probably a little bit of because it's proof down. I'm not super used to drinking that, but it's still just it has like a nice, smooth, mellow, warm feel to it.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to bring you guys back to your roots, man.
Yeah.
You guys didn't start drinking barrel-proof monsters right out of the gate, and neither
No, of
did I.
course.
I've been drinking them
Dana
since I was
did
13.
out of the bottle, out of her baby bottle. She just had.
But
So.
like I said, this is breakfast bourbon. No, I just thought it was really great because this is definitely the good. And it's not low shelf; it's 30 to 35, but like that's really affordable. This is everyday price stuff that if you can get. I mean, let's say in Manhattan, there's probably 10 or 12 different stores that will have their own private pick of this at any given time because it's readily accessible for them to do that.
Sure.
And it's priced right along with regular Buffalo Trace, which regular Buffalo Trace is delicious, but this gives you that extra flavor component. Some of them are a little bit drier, some of them are a little bit more floral. This one happens to be like everything I embody in a low-proof bourbon. This has every characteristic. You know, it's sweet. It's got those vanillins. It's got that baking spice. It's got that chocolate. And it's got that nice, affordable price tag.
Sure.
All right, so judges, what say you?
I
Good
think
pick.
I think it's a good pick, and especially for someone who's looking for an affordable, not full tilt, easy to drink,
Very easy.
easy to
Very
access.
manageable.
Maybe if you're going to be drinking with someone who's a newbie and wants a little bit of an entree into the world of bourbon, this would be an amazing pick for sure.
Like Jake?
Yeah, if you're like about to expose your like teenage kid, like if you're about to bond with them for the first time over a glass of whiskey and you don't want them to feel inadequate, like pour them a glass of this.
Good talk, Russ.
Yeah.
No, I'm into it. I think we should definitely do a barrel of this for the Beastmasters Club. This would be a
I
good-
would love
good
to.
choice. And I mean, for the money, forget it.
I know, it's
Can't beat
amazing.
it.
And usually the yield on these is pretty good too. So, you're not going to get any of those angel barrels where like you get 64 bottles out of a barrel.
It's not age statement, right?
No, it's NAS.
Yeah.
I think in general they're like between 6 and 9. I'd probably between 6 and 8 now. But yeah, it just depends on like when it's ready. But thinking about the fact that this is like one of those barrels that could go into regular Buffalo Trace, and we saved it.
Right.
We saved it from going into the masses.
Sally,
You know,
Hero.
we Sally
Hero.
Struthered that shit.
Congrats.
Sally Struthered. Nice. You saved that child.
Poor bottles.
You guys are bad people.
If you
For
send
just $3 a day.
If you send $3 a day to the Beastmasters Club, we can save other barrels just like this one.
You could adopt this barrel. I think this buffalo on the bottle is like shedding a tear right now.
All right.
What's
so
next?
that's first. So now we are going over to Mr. Steven Smoky Beast Zeller for his first pick of the night.
All right.
I'll try to remain unbiased.
You know. I would think you would, if anything, just judge against your
Yeah,
husband.
you never know. Working with married couples.
That's
is
how the
like
rest of the day works.
We're in good terms, you know,
Today.
today.
Well, yeah, when you present 4 bottles of delicious whiskey, who's going to be upset about that?
True story.
Nothing to argue about here.
Lucky enough to marry a whiskey fan. So, all right. This is from my friend Alex down in Houston at NASA Liquors. This is also a single barrel choice. Four Roses. It's an OBSV, so their high rye bourbon is not for the faint of heart. 59.7%, 9 years and 9.5 years old.
What's OBSV?
Oh, sorry, that's the.
Oh boy, so very.
There's a dot at the end of that.
So very.
Four Roses has 10 recipes. They're all O and S. I think one of them stands for the warehouse and one of them stands for the bottler or something like that. But the second and fourth letter are the ones that are important. So B as opposed to E. B is the high rye recipe. E is the high corn. So this is the high rye. And then there's 5 different yeasts. There's a K, Q, V, F, and one other one. O. And this one, they all have sort of different characteristics. This is like the creamy and I think spicy and creamy yeast strain.
I don't know if it's because you said it was creamy, which, by the way, that will be the last usage of the word creamy on this show. But it smells like vanilla ice cream.
Creamy and fruity is what they say about this yeast. Yeah.
Like it smells like when you walk into an ice cream store.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah, it does have that.
Black
like
and
that.
white, malted kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, like a chocolate vanilla caramel, like a candy store.
Pretty much
ice
the
cream
most
store.
delicious thing I've ever
This
smelled.
is crazy. The power of suggestion is so strong because when you said that, I actually worked at an ice cream shop in high school for like 6 months. It was kind of a down part of my life, but it was awesome. And they made everything in house. This is like the first part of the day where you'd walk in and like they're making the waffle cones and there's like the ice cream being made downstairs. This smells like there's like a fruit creamery, like something's going on here. This is kind of delicious.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So this is a Four Roses barrel pick from
NASA Liquors down in
NASA
Texas.
in Houston.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Now,
thank
we've
you.
had this together before, actually.
Did I pour this for you already?
I think so. No, but like I remember this, but I remember it had just been opened, and this has come a long way since it's been opened. I remember being like I had to like kind of back out of the glass a little bit the first time with this. This is you can dig right in, and it just keeps pulling you in. This smells amazing.
Yeah, I like it. It's super smooth too. And what did it come out? What's the proofage on this?
It's close to
About
120.
120, 59.7.
I mean, for that much proof, this is smooth as a baby's ass.
But it's got a lot of flavor.
So
Yes,
also,
yeah, a lot
I'd
of
like
everything.
I'd like to point this out too. This is actually really cool. The OBSV mash bill is the exact same mash bill that they use, or the same recipe they use every time for their standard release single barrel that they release just all the time, part of their core lineup. That is always OBSV. It's usually like 6 to 8 years old, and they proof it down to 100 proof. So obviously, single barrels all have their different qualities. So you could get something like this from a standard issue Four Roses. It just wouldn't be as intensified as this. And I think this really is particularly a step above. But
Yeah.
but you can definitely get a lot of those similar characteristics for something you can actually buy on the shelves all the time.
I mean, I think Four Roses single barrel. I mean, I'll definitely drink that in a bar. If it's part of a standard lineup, and that's one of my go-to things if people ask what should I buy at any liquor store.
Right.
Absolutely.
Four Roses single barrel is great.
Yeah, they're amazing. Great company, great distillery, wonderful people.
They have a really impressive private barrel program. I mean,
Yep.
like they have a whole sort of like bottling area just for the private barrels. So they crank out a ton of them, and they're really good at it, and they do them cast strength. And
We're working on one of those for all you
Yeah.
listeners and club members. So
Yeah, for
in the
sure.
new year, hopefully 2017, we are in the works on acquiring some Four Roses single barrel action.
perhaps even a trip down to the Four Roses itself.
Yeah, I mean, say no more, but
Yeah, okay.
I know if
in the future, you may receive an invitation to attend a barrel picking at Four Roses.
I know a couple people that might be able to make this happen for you.
Yeah. We know you
Also,
do.
I just realized this is like a competition sort of thing, and I've just been talking about how much I love this bottle so far. So, Steve, this bottle's awful. I don't know what you're talking about. This whiskey sucks.
Yeah.
What do you think, Mrs. Beast?
I mean, it's kind of delicious.
Biased.
I mean, it's it's hearty but smooth. I mean, I'm still feeling the ice cream thing. I mean, how do you say no to that?
Hey,
But it's also still really manageable. It's high proof, but it doesn't feel like it's really like a killer. I think it's also still, I mean, not that I would share this with my young child, introducing them to the whiskey world, because I think that they'd probably pass out. But
Like you would have with the
we
Buffalo
don't
Trace.
really,
Right,
we don't really
exactly.
let our 5-year-old drink, for the record.
yet. But yeah, I think it's a really nice choice. So what did you say? What price this bottle is?
This was right under the line. I think $74.95 or something.
$74,
like that.
Oh, wow.
$99.99.
Yeah.
I really enjoy this. Like this is an awesome sipper. Like I would drink
is
this
so
any
smooth.
day.
Yeah.
Indeed. Very smooth, especially for the proof and a lot of flavor going on. It's just like it would be really great with almost any dessert. Like I could see this with like a pie a la mode.
Heck
like
yeah,
it would
pecan
be just
pie.
amazing. Yeah, awesome for after dinner. I'm impressed. I'm feeling this.
I had a lot of Four Roses, including their distiller's pick single barrel and a bunch of other choices and their recent small batches. I think this one is standout, just really killer choice.
Got to give it up
yeah.
to the guys from
NASA.
NASA,
From
in
NASA,
Houston.
yeah.
I mean, really good
Very
pick.
good job.
And well done, gentlemen.
They consistently
Or
pick
ladies,
a lot of
or
really
whoever
good
you
things.
are. I don't know you.
Yeah. They probably don't even sip it. They probably just say like, send us up something. Ends up being great every time. I'm just kidding. I know they pick it. They work painstakingly through barrels and barrels and barrels of whiskey. It's
That's
really
a
hard work.
really
Yeah,
good pick.
that ice cream stuff goes into some of the spice. You get some big leather in there, I feel like,
But
saddle
you do
leather.
get the fruity too a little
Oh,
bit.
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
for
I
sure.
don't- Yeah.
Dark
There's a little of that.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
little orange. I mean, it's like you've got it. Maybe I'll translate that ice cream into sorbet.
Yeah.
Sure. There's a little of that leather and tobacco on the back of the nose and sort of deep in there, but it's really complete in terms of the flavor profile. It's got a little of everything.
Did you
It's
say
like-
orange
it's all there.
marmalade before? Is
I said orange.
Yeah, this like orange like marmalade thing is like coming through. It's almost like botrytized grapes. Like if you think of like Sauterne almost. It's got
What was
this
that word?
like
Botrytized?
botrytized.
What does that mean?
Okay, whiskey guy. So when like Sauterne, do you know what Sauterne
Yeah.
is in France? So it's botrytis is this like fungus that grows on grapes, and it actually when it grows on them, it shrivels them from the inside out. So it concentrates all the sugars. Now what it does when it attacks like Sauvignon Blanc and Semillon, it really creates these like orange marmalade-y kind of yeasty flavors. So every now and again, you get a whiskey that kind of correlates through with that when you get those like citrus notes.
Interesting.
And that's definitely what's happening here for me. This is really
I bet
cool.
you're the only one on American Ninja Warrior who knows what the word botrytized means.
I hope, yeah, I don't know. After that whole thing, the girl came up to me and interviewed me. She was like, so I know you're really into wine. She's like, are you going to drink some wine after this? And I was like, totally. She
Yeah.
was like, what are you going to drink? Anything special? I was like, the biggest bottle I have in my collection because I haven't drank in 2 weeks, which is not true.
No,
I
you
drank
gotta.
all the way
You gotta
through it.
like have the flask in like tucked into your waistband.
I'm
and then,
doing
like,
that next
get
year.
to the top. You hit
Yeah.
you hit the button and just like
Right there.
take a swig right
Dude,
there at
totally.
the top of the
Yeah.
platform.
Have someone throw it to you or something.
Yeah. I have a zipper in my shorts that I always train in. And I'm just gonna keep a flask in there,
Totally.
and like when I'm hanging one, I'm just gonna like swig it and then
When
throw
you're
it down.
hanging.
Yeah.
Hanging
I'm gonna
from
hang
one
from
arm.
one and just do
And
it.
take a swig.
Q-tips or whatever. Like.
Totally. I've been practicing.
Awesome.
I installed a pull-up bar in my apartment just for that.
Wow.
Right next to my
Just
whiskey
hang on at
collection.
X-Men style, is drinking. Like,
Yeah, I've been trying to do monkey chugs, like upside down whiskey drinking. Doesn't work
I feel
out.
like that log roll is probably not as effective when you're like 3 sheets to the wind. But that's just me. Not that I'm your trainer or anything, but
And mate, you might be better. Just go in loose.
like when you play pool
Yeah.
at a bar.
Exactly. You get in that. Like, you have 3 drinks and you're in the zone.
Yeah.
plateau.
6 drinks, you're
You're
slapping
done. No, you
everything
can
everywhere.
have 3
Yeah.
drinks, and then when you have 3 drinks in 1/4, you're done. There's a fine line
I
between.
peak at about
Right.
13
Yeah.
drinks.
13 drinks. My goodness.
I feel like I should if I typed in monkeychugs.com, I feel like that would be bad.
Yeah, no one wants to see that Google result.
Yeah, no one.
Sorry.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. You'll
All
be
right.
Banned from Google.
So, I think everybody's in agreement. This is a lovely dram, and certainly
I guess so.
a tough head to head on the on the baby bourbon. Just it's almost like a man and a boy. I think what we're dealing with here, but
That may be a theme tonight.
Almost like that.
almost like that. So now we will move on to Jake's second pick.
My second
What
pick.
do you have for us on the second round?
All
Round
right,
two.
so this is really cool. So for the next one, I did choose something because I kind of knew what I was getting myself into here. Bringing that lower proof one, I knew I was going to get bullied around. So for the second pick, I decided to bring something that had a little bit more oomph, a little bit more gusto, whatever you kids like to call it. So I brought a bottle of Wild Turkey Russell's Reserve single barrel. Now, they do a pretty cool barrel program as well. This is not one of those private picks. This is a standard single barrel that you can get anywhere in the country, anywhere they distribute. This happens to be one that I got at the distillery last time I was down there. So there are some really cool signatures on there.
Nice.
I got to hang with Eddie that day, actually.
Very cool.
And that was a top, 2 best days of my life as a bourbon enthusiast.
Nice.
I got to actually spend the afternoon with Eddie Russell, one-on-one, and ask him a bunch of nerdy distilling questions.
Amazing.
And then we went into his office and drank a bunch of unmarked bottles. And he told
always
me,
the best.
and he told me later that oh, we're going to release that later this year. That's going to be our Master's Keep. That's going to be our Russell's Reserve 1998, and that's going to be our new single barrel rye. And
Very cool.
needless to say, my bank account was not happy about that. So I picked this up just from the gift shop. It's not anything special release. It's not handpicked by them or whatever. They do a single barrel program similar to every other distillery that does it, where
But they
just
do vintages, right? They do.
no. There's no vintage on there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just for everyone out there, this is an older label. So they changed the label design about a year ago. So this is an older one. They have not changed the juice. They have just changed the label.
All right, so this is the Russell's Reserve
Single barrel. Yeah, 110 proof. So we're looking at 55% alcohol here. This is what I've always loved immensely about Wild Turkey. They have remained essentially unchanged for 60 years or so. They've had 2 mash bills the entire time, 1 rye, 1 bourbon. But they are able to create all these really cool, unique releases with just by playing around barrel entry proof, warehouse location, storage, taking different cuts during the distillation process. That's it.
All right.
All right. In the last year or so, I will say they've gotten
cooler if you did.
they've gotten a bit cheesy over the last year.
That's what I like about them high rye bourbon.
I get older, they just stay the same age. Matthew McConaughey is definitely rolling an imaginary booger in his fingers right now. These guys are a bunch of idiots.
Yeah, Matt, if you're out there and you're listening, we love you. No offense.
We definitely do.
All respect. All respect.
No, well,
you were,
Wild-
you were
Wild
great in
Turkey-
Dazed and Confused. But,
Wild
you made
Turkey
it-
was
you
the
made it
kind
detailed.
of whiskey you went to college in Georgia, and it was you could buy a handle of Wild Turkey for $0, and it was. I mean, I'm sure there are versions of Wild Turkey that are probably not this, but it's just so funny to think of Wild Turkey as something that would be included on this lineup.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't think about it right away, but they've been around forever. They've never stopped. They weren't one of those distillers that buckled and had to send out their labels to other people. They've remained a rock for 60 plus years in the bourbon industry. That's a big deal.
I've always
funny-
liked Wild Turkey. I mean,
Yeah.
even just the standard Wild Turkey 101. It's always a pretty legit drink.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And,
What's funny though is
I feel
now
like-
those '90s bottles that you're talking about are super sought after, and people break it down. They're like, oh, you get the split label, or the
Well, I
cheesy
drank
gold
all of them in
foil.
college, so
Yeah, I
sorry
know.
they're not available.
Right.
And they were delicious back then. Now, I will say, Wild Turkey's had a really cool history. And, the reason why a lot of those bourbons of theirs from the 80s and, early 90s were so damn good was a couple different reasons. And, one of them was because the bourbon demand was so low back then. Obviously, if a giant like Stitzelweller can't survive through that, glut, how did Wild Turkey do it? Well, they had such a surplus that, their 8-year stated, instead of changing the labels, they were bottling their 8-year stuff at 10, 12-year-old.
Right.
So you were getting a 10-year-old bourbon that you thought was 8 years old, and they were probably it was way less filtered back then. They used to have these cypress fermenters back in the day as opposed to stainless steel. So there was a lot of things, but they've still remained very true to their tradition, and that's why I really love them. So this is really cool. So their mash bill it's a high corn mash bill, which is funny because I usually find myself like more into high rye mash bills.
Yeah.
But I brought 2 high corn mash bills tonight just because I think they're really good. So maybe I don't like high
Or maybe you just like it all.
I like everything.
Yeah, there you go.
So this one was particularly good. This is it's usually like a 75% corn. I believe it's 13% rye, 12% malted barley. I love that they're using that higher percentage of malted barley. I think that's an old school thing too. So yeah,
That is
there you
really
go.
nice.
Good nose, very sweet.
Totally.
This one's definitely a sugary dram.
I mean that
It's
heavy
got that,
corn.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's got that heavy corn, sugary.
I love that color. I know, like-
Syrupy, dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
8 to 9 years is the average on these guys, by the way.
Uh-huh.
They're usually anywhere between 8 and 9 years old for their single barrels.
But
And
are
non-chill
they-
filtered.
Right. Are they blending in older stuff with
No, they
the-
can't. It's
Oh,
single
no,
barrel.
it's a single barrel. Sorry.
Yeah, they just dump it. They add a little bit of water, and not a lot of water. I mean, it's 110 proof, right?
So they're just
Yeah.
all, they proof them all to 110.
all to 110.
This is what everything I like about Willet, because I love Willets in general. There's really not a single Willet that I've ever not liked.
Totally.
And I kind of hold everything to that standard.
Yeah,
Sorry, everyone, but Willet wins for me. But this is everything I like about Willet, to be honest with you. I mean, price point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so
You
price
could
wise,
probably actually buy this.
you can buy
on the
this.
shelf.
You can buy
It's
this
everywhere.
everywhere.
It exists.
And they
Yeah.
also do store picks of this. So like, if you like this, you can also go around and like, if you have a store you trust, they've probably got a barrel of this laying around somewhere that they did at one point because these
Right.
are phenomenal. I've had some of the best store picks I've ever had have been these guys. I mean, amazing stuff.
That's really good. Really good. Really sweet.
For,
Still high
I'm gonna-
proof. Still high
110 proof, but
yeah.
like, look at that balance.
Yeah.
It's a perfect proof. You get the heat, warmth, but flavor, but it's not hot. It's
Totally.
like-
Yeah.
It's a little bit of the wood there, but like it's not super aged wood. It's like that right balanced wood. I think 8 to 12 years is like that sweet point.
But all the good vanilla, molasses, caramel, all that stuff.
yeah, this is a candy bomb for sure.
Oh,
I
really?
guess.
You guys aren't getting that spice at all? I mean,
Yeah.
it's dry. I mean, they've got that
It's
like
in there.
heavy char. Even though it's a high corn, I mean, I think it's just super spicy and delicious. It's like have like a chocolate mole. Like you get that like it's got this like kind of like dark chocolatey type thing going on.
I like
but
that
if there was
analogy.
chili peppers in there.
Yeah, I like the analogy to the mole. There's a spice, there's a depth. It's got more than just the chocolate sweetness to it, and I think the char comes through. But it definitely at sort of first blush, it's very sweet.
Totally.
You get a big sugar kick on this one.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is whenever I think of like if I were to pour someone, if someone was like came here from France and was like, I have never had bourbon before. Show me what it's all about. I would pour them this and be like, see if you can handle a Frenchman. Like this is exactly what bourbon like.
I don't
to
know, dude. They
me,
sounded pretty
embodies.
German. They might kick your ass.
No, come on. That
you
sounded
go.
like Arnold, didn't it? Everybody use your muscles.
Pump it up.
Sorry.
Over here.
No, but I mean, come on. You get a French guy comes here. He says, "Okay, listen, is this cognac? No,
nice.
show me.
Right.
Show me.
Dites-moi.
Yeah, whatever. So I think
Dude, if you had a
whatever.
mustache, you could be that Frenchman.
If I could
Totally.
grow a mustache,
know.
I'd be happy.
I think you could.
I can't.
I don't know. You give it a shot.
I
I'll
think
show
we'd
you a
like to
photo.
see it. I
I look
gotta-
like Luigi.
Yes,
Like, from
yes.
Mario Brothers.
Even better.
No, but like Luigi in high school, like when he was first hitting puberty. Like when he's just like tall, skinny, lanky, and like has this
Cube
awful...
Ouija.
Yeah, yeah. Like I look like I like...
Before he ate the mushroom.
Sorry.
I'm gonna win.
I was always Luigi in Super Smash Brothers in college.
Yeah.
Pooh! That was my move, man. Just the chop to the neck.
Oh, I don't think I ever played Super Smash Brothers.
I was big
man.
into the cart. That was my
Mario
jam.
Oh yeah,
Kart,
Mario Kart was
yeah.
great. Mario Kart was great.
That was the most psychedelic game of all time. It was like driving through an acid trip.
Oh yeah, on a turtle.
Yeah.
On a turtle. turtle. This to me is the first one that has made my shoulders tense up a little bit.
What does that mean?
I don't know. It's always a good sign for me, though.
It just means the booze is starting to flow,
Yeah,
I think.
it usually happens with the first sip of whiskey I have, like in a day. Like I'll take the first sip and like my shoulders, like they just get that little bit of tightness.
Is that
and
what
then,
they
like,
mean
I
by
relax.
getting tight? Tighten up.
I don't know.
Get the tighten up.
I think it depends on who's
Like
saying
in a
it.
Raymond Chandler book when they talk about everybody's getting
Yeah,
tight.
getting tight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get
or like
tight.
yeah, there were, and then there's like a song that was very prominent in my college days, but it's an older song.
Back in the
that
70s?
Archie Bell and the Drells, tighten up, do the tighten up. It's good. It's all the
Everybody
pumping.
do the
How
tighten
fucking
up.
old
That's,
are you? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, all right,
Yeah.
there we go. Not that old.
Archie Bells?
Archie Bell and the Drells.
Okay.
It did not that the song came out
The name-
when I was in college.
The name Archie hasn't existed since the 60s. So really, how old are you?
I think the song is from the 60s, 70s. It's like a Motown-y something.
What is that, Katy Perry? No, that's Archie Bell and the Terrells.
All right. Don't be bitter, contestants. All right, back to your corners, gentlemen.
Oh yeah. Screw
yeah,
you, Beast. I
definitely.
forgot where. Yeah.
Stop kicking the referee.
Totally-
now you've
totally
both,
trumping the monitor- the
Instead
moderators
of fighting
here.
with each other, you guys have turned on me.
Sorry.
Yeah, don't pound the table.
I know. I just pounded the table. I'm sorry.
It's not good for our whatever.
one rule,
audio
Jake.
setup.
Don't
Don't
pound the table. I'm sorry. I'm doing this whole podcast upside down on my hands. All right. It's hard for me not to adjust my wrists every now and again.
We're wrangling Jake back into his monkey bar cage, but aside from that, I think we're ready to move on to the fourth and final whiskey.
Well, you may have noticed how much darker this last one is than all of the other glasses in front of you.
And that's because it's caramel colored. Just kidding.
Yeah. We just put a little food coloring in this one. It's all right.
And that is because the ringer that I'm pulling out for the final bourbon is Elijah Craig Barrel Proof.
Elijah.
Elijah
Elijah.
Craig. The Reverend. 139.4 proof.
Woo!
This is
Oh, yeah.
this year's batch 11. I think that's the most recent one, or maybe the second to most recent one. A true beast.
Roar.
And I wrote this up in the blog as the whiskey of the bourbon of the year this year, before we even all the fall bourbons came out, because at $59.99, 12-year-old cast strength, dark as night bourbon. Where'd you have to be?
We'll be the judge
Please,
of that, sir.
please be the
Yeah,
judge.
take it easy there.
Don't put your glass up towards me to cheers me.
Yeah.
You,
Don't put the
Cheers.
cart before
you,
the
you smoky
hoss.
bitch.
Smoky bitch. Wow.
Get that glass away from me.
I
Wow.
see your horse, and I
There's-
put my cart before it.
There are a bunch of low blows being thrown here at the in the final rounds of the Beast versus Warrior contest. I have had this bad boy in the past, and I will say this is a motherfucker. Like of all sorts. It's like super hot, but very smooth and just bombs of flavors away. Like at the 12-year smoothness of like the near 140 proof. It's just an incredible combination and like a real display of whiskey making art.
I've had a lot of. That was really beautiful.
Yeah,
That was
I
a
try.
nice that was like a Vince Vaughn-y like ramble about why this is so good.
Yeah, totally.
I've had
like a big
few
bear.
of the different releases of the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, and I've liked them. I have not had this one yet, so this is actually a first for me, which is really cool. So I'm getting to see this for the first time.
I'm getting like it. You know, the nose is giving me red hots.
The nose is
You
getting
got to
me
be
hot.
almost careful with this when you quote nose it.
It'll
It'll
you
just
lose your
rip-
nose.
It's singed my nose
It'll
hairs.
singe. It'll singe you a
Totally
little.
get
You
the
got to
red
kind of nose this at a distance.
Yeah, it does have that kind of like
Big cinnamon.
cinnamon,
Yes.
like big red type thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got that from a lot. I don't know if I've gotten that from any of the other
Oh,
Elijah
boy.
Craig Barrel Proofs before.
It has almost like a redness to the coloring. It's so dark. It has sort of that
Yeah.
like amber brown coming through in this one.
Yeah, I noticed that with the Russells, it had this like kind of like reddish, like cherry hue, but with this one, it's like incomparable. This is like totally.
Yeah, it almost looks like a sherry cask
Yeah, yeah.
thing. It's so dark.
Yep.
Are you sure this isn't Aberlour? Abaddon?
You got me.
Like,
Got me. Guilty.
So this, oh man, this has this like molassesy, like viscous. It's just kind of like it's like a Savannah accent. Like this bourbon just kind of like is melting off of, it's like down the throat.
It's just coating your tongue.
Oh God! I mean,
tell
I
ya.
just want some more.
I
You
do
guys
declare.
you guys are creeping the shit
getting
out
a
of
little
me.
weird.
I do declare. It's a bit of a nice bourbon.
My goodness. Is there any way we can get our
You
microphones
guys sound like Colonel
closer?
Sanders.
Good Lord.
Which one?
Ben's
Finger
moving
licking
into
good.
like sexual chocolate territory over here.
I am always
Wait.
moving into sexual chocolate.
Sexual chocolate, like Coming to America. Sexual
Yes,
chocolate.
yes.
Sexual chocolate.
I see these girls and I want to thank the Lord.
One of the
That was good.
best scenes ever. Sexual chocolate. But this is a
is really
tough
good.
one to mess with. When the beast busted out, this beast, I think it's going to be hard to compete with. I think we've got a lot of strong contenders. I would say that
Well-
if any of you out there can go to a little honey hole that you have or whatever, and you might be able to get either this edition of the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, or maybe you can find it in the more recent one. I think this might be 11. I think 12 might have just come out and hit the shelves.
Yeah.
But if you know where you can grab this, and it is available, it goes fast, but you might be able to find a little spot where you can pick this up. And I would say if you see it on a shelf, just buy it and buy however many you see, because you will not
Clear the
you will-
shelves.
get them all. Get as many as they will let you cart away, because you're not going to find too much better than this, especially at $60.
If you find it for that price.
It's tough. It's tough to find these days.
I mean, actually, I'm not gonna lie. I bought one of these for $42, which is like the suggested retail of this is about $45.
Well, look who's so sweet.
No, but seriously, like it is like it's around that, which is okay. Like that happens with all these, right? They go up a little bit every now and again, especially in the city. So like 60 for this really is fair. Like that's actually amazingly fair. I'd happily pay more for this. But let's hope we don't have to. But
Well, they're selling in Manhattan for $1.95 now.
yeah, which is like.
Highway
Heyo.
robbery.
Yeah.
But you think about this, and this is what I'm going to go back into competition mode here, since this is Whiskey Warrior versus Smoky Beast. I'm tightening up my gloves here real quick. This is very hard to find, and when you do find it, it's probably going to be between $60 to $70. Now, the Wild Turkey Russell's Reserve single barrel, on the other hand, is readily available and not an allocated item, and is about $50 a bottle anywhere you go.
This just turned into a Bob's Furniture commercial.
You can
You get
tell
a whole
that
bedroom set for
This is true.
$59.99.
All right, fine. I'm Bob's Furnituring all of you right now. I'm sorry.
he's giving his sales pitch.
I'm just
if you're-
mad because that's really freaking delicious.
There's nothing wrong with advocacy. We're not going to say you can't advocate. This is a showdown. You should be advocating for your wares.
No,
I'm
the
all
one
for that.
the one thing I will say is with the ECBP, it's amazing and the flavors are crazy. There is just a little bit of burn for me. So for me, I would add a couple drops of water just to soften it up a little bit. Whereas for me with the Russells, like that 110 is kind of right where it wanted to be. With that Four Roses, that like just under 120 is right where it wanted to be. The Elijah Craig Barrel Proof is great. Now I noticed you just opened this tonight, right? So I think if this was like open 3/4 of the way for a few months, it'd be perfect.
It's all right, man. If you brought a little water in your skirt there, go ahead and put a few drops in.
Oh, hey,
That's offensive.
easy.
That's offensive.
Come
on.
The moderator. You sound like you're moderating a spelling bee, by the way, which is really great.
I'm getting ready to
Could
moderate
you use
debates.
that in a sentence?
Can I have the root of the word, please?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of this Elijah Craig Barrel Proof in general. The 12-year-old, the just super deep everything.
Super deep.
Super deep. It's really what you want out of bourbon, I think. And I do agree that it's a little hot, but I've kind of got used to drinking it because I've been sipping on it a bit. And I will generally tend to like have a little sip of something else before I drink this, just because you almost need something to warm you up
Yeah.
before you dive into this bitch. Because like, it's not a joke. Like if I have this as my first drink,
Right.
it's like overwhelming. You almost can't drink it, and it hits your throat like just almost
I think,
like
I think the drops of water
set
are
of-
probably a good idea with something like this too. I mean, there's no shame in that.
There
and
shouldn't be shame.
yeah, no, not at all. And I mean, it's good, it's delicious, it's hot, but it's not my favorite. Are we ready to reveal our
I
selections?
think maybe we're gonna have to go and confer so that we can make a proper judgment about this. We might have to, like, you know, determine. We may have to put our heads together and see where you two gentlemen ended up here, because I feel like this is almost like a prize fight. We need to go compare our scorecards and like
they come out?
You know, we need to see what the
Winner
judgment
by
is.
split decision.
Yeah.
Fighting out of
Wait, can I trial by combat?
yeah,
Can
That's
can
what
Jamie
this
Lannister
is.
fight for me?
the mountain that moves.
Yeah, Jamie Lannister. You're,
I named the
Jamie
mountain-
is your champion.
No. Well, like season 2 Jamie. You know,
Before he lost his hand.
Before his hand was gone.
But he was always a bit of an asshole.
So what?
You just want a good warrior.
He's got beautiful, glorious golden locks, and I want him fighting for me.
All right, so you're picking Jamie Lannister. Who would your champion be from the Game of Thrones?
That's a tough question. I mean, the mountain's pretty sweet, but I'm gonna go with. I think I'm gonna go with Oberyn. The
Prince Oberyn.
Prince, the
Spoiler
poison
alert.
Prince.
You
Lost to the mountain.
Yeah, but he fucked him up pretty good.
He did.
He should have won.
He shouldn't have been so
Yeah.
showy.
He was cocky.
Yeah.
It was pride that destroyed him.
I don't know. There's so many good ones to choose from.
I mean, honestly, Arya's becoming a really good.
Well, does she get the dragons? The dragons will come in and
Arya.
Oh, Arya. Oh yeah, the
Arya-
faceless
Arya-
assassin.
Arya
yeah,
Stark. Yeah.
I choose
was thinking of
Ghost.
Dany.
I choose Ghost. I think
Ghost.
I
You
think
want
the
the
dire
wolf.
wolf would just fuck anybody up. Sorry.
The wolves.
Sorry,
yeah.
I don't know. It's
Oh,
good.
there you go. All right. Well, on that note, we're going to go and confer about what we think is the winner here. And you guys can geek out on Game of Thrones a little more if you like.
They're back.
We're back.
They're back.
All right, we're back. We're back with a decision-ish. We have
we have a decision.
We have a decision and we have some caveats. So
For fuck's sake.
no, we have a
this is
clear
fucking bullshit.
decision. There's a clear winner. We're going to give a clear winner here.
Oh, okay.
But we have to have everybody understand the judging criteria, right?
The judging criteria.
And the judging criteria is that we can do whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah, so it's like we
said it.
judge, you fucking deal with it.
At least I have a bunch of bourbon here to drink myself into sorrow if it doesn't work out in my favor.
Okay, so Mrs. Smoky Beast, do you want to announce our winner?
So I think all of them were great. Gentlemen, you've provided a phenomenal
You're
selection
all
of whiskey.
special.
You're all special tonight.
You all get a consolation trophy and a
sounding
ribbon.
a lot like
Trophy.
this is sounding kindergartenish so far.
Yeah.
I think everything it was really an outstanding tasting, but I think the winner for us was the wild turkey.
Oh snap! He comes
Now-
into the beast
now-
lair.
The Russell's Reserve
I'm
single
sorry.
barrel
Yeah.
Please
is
go
what
ahead.
we're declaring.
Sorry, hats off to you, Steve. Okay, go.
All right, hold on.
Yes.
We're declaring the Russell's Reserve single barrel the winner. More specifically than anything, because we want to give you all a winner that is accessible, that you can get. We love the fact that this is something that can be grabbed off a shelf and that anybody can get their hands on. All of these whiskeys are amazing. You can't really go wrong with any of them. But just for the purposes of this face-off, this showdown, 75 and under, something that you can go to a store and buy, we felt that because you actually can go and pick up this Russell's Reserve, we're going to declare it the winner.
That's right.
Well done, sir. I concede defeat.
No, like I'm. This is weird. I'm really happy, but I feel really awkward because I'm in your house. I'm in your lair,
Don't
Not
worry, you
for
will be
long.
punished.
and I just.
You might not make it out alive.
No, this is really great. That's awesome. These were all fantastic. And I don't know if you can really pick a winner, but the Russell's Reserve is extremely tasty.
Yeah,
One of my favorites,
absolutely.
and I'm glad it got its due recognition.
Right, so for right now, we're declaring you the winner of the first Smoky Beast versus Whiskey Warrior showdown.
The Whiskey Warrior triumphs.
All right.
Mr. Smoky
Yeah,
Beast.
shake hands.
done,
Don't be
sir.
a sore loser. All right, so we had our winner pick. We really loved the Four Roses single barrel from NASA.
that Four
I think
Roses
that
is
was
delicious.
incredible. I feel like I do love the Elijah Craig barrel proof. It's excellent. It's almost like too badass for this contest. It was definitely a ringer. I know you brought it in as a ringer. Considering that if you even could find it on a shelf, it'd be $200, not $60.
Oh, fine.
We kind of felt
No,
that it
but-
was a bit of a cheat,
You can
So-
find it for under. You really can. Like there are a few stores out there that really do it
I
properly.
mean, if you look hard enough around the streets of New York, you could find a gold nugget too, just lying around on the ground. But the chances that you're going to
don't
find
pick
it,
that up. Don't pick that up.
the chances that you're going to find it are slim to none. But if you do have a little honey hole that you could go to and get it, I'll repeat, get it. And
Well,
get as much as you can carry away.
I can tell you just for fun for you guys to know, anytime we do get anything into Vanderbilt Wine Merchants, we do sell it for proper retail. Like
Sure.
because it's like part of like a thing I do, and like I still buy stuff at retail, obviously. So
You
like
believe in it.
I love when people have stuff for the proper price, which is like ridiculous to say. But so we honor that wholeheartedly. So if we ever get anything that's really cool, we might not necessarily put it out, but we've got it there for the proper price if you're worthy.
I don't see why they don't make more of this. First of all, I think this is underpriced. Personally,
Totally.
I think that this is $100 bottle, and I don't. And
they
I'd
might be
happy
listening.
You know what? I'd be happy to pay that if they could make more of it. Why
Yeah.
don't they make this all the time?
I don't know. I mean, they're focusing on their non-age dated. Elijah Craig's been
Right.
going through a lot. They just released their new bottle, non-age dated. All right, now they're going to re-release their 12-year at a higher price. So this is definitely going to come out at a higher price at some point.
Sure.
But Elijah Craig used to do a barrel pick program that was essentially this. They would do a 12-year barrel pick program that was
Wow.
unfiltered, and this is unfiltered.
They had a bunch of them. Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. So like, I don't know why they did away with it. I'm sure it was a supply thing, but it's Heaven Hill. Like
Yeah.
they're like one of the biggest distillers in the country. But who knows?
Sure.
Who cares? They give us a little bit of taste, and like it's worth it. It's great. Maybe it makes it even better because you can't get it all the time.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, that's why they do it. Like they make it limited so that you want it. It's like
Yeah.
everybody wants what they cannot have.
Well,
but
they release
yeah.
it just like Booker's. I mean, Booker's releases 6 releases every year of a barrel-proof bourbon. These guys release 4 releases every year of a barrel-proof bourbon. So if you really wanted to, there you go.
Yeah, so just to conclude, the Russell's Reserve single barrel is our winner.
Well done, sir.
Swing.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
So thanks, Jake, for bringing that to our little contest.
It is,
And,
it is delicious. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
very tasty.
I broke him.
It's yummy.
Yeah.
But all of our picks here were very tasty and worthy. And if you guys can get your hands on any of these I would suggest acquiring them. So you can't really go wrong with any of these, and nobody will be disappointed if you serve one to them.
Heck yeah.
Cheers. Good fight.
Yeah, so special thanks from this episode to Jake, the Whiskey Warrior Cahill. You can find him at Vanderbilt Wine Merchants in Prospect Heights. You can also see him on American Ninja Warrior.
Season
And-
9.
Yes, season 9, hopefully coming out.
Coming soon to a Ninja screen near you.
Yeah. And thanks again to Mrs. Smoky Beast, Dana Zeller, for joining us tonight and gracing us with her presence. It's always good to have some new blood and new guests on the podcast, and we thank you guys again for coming.
Oh man, this was a
cheers.
blast. This was so much fun.
Yeah, it's great to have you.
Yeah,
I
it's
want a
great.
rematch.
Yeah, me too.
And there will be. This is just the first of many. So for all of you guys out there in whiskey land, for all the whiskey freaks, just remember this is only round 1 of the Smoky Beast versus the Whiskey Warrior, and we are going to have more contests to come, and we're going to have to figure out what those are, but they will be
Yeah, if
forthcoming.
you have a suggestion for what you'd like another contest to be, let us know. Beastmastersclub.com. Shoot us an email. stories@beastmastersclub.com.
Yes, exactly. You can go to the website. There are many ways to reach us. I think we even have a phone number out there. So if you really want to get in touch, give us a ring, send us an email, whatever it is. Check us out on social media. Definitely.
You guys
tell
have
your
Snapchat?
Snapchat? No,
That's
we're
probably
not.
for the better.
Yeah, exactly. No one wants to see that. I don't need live streaming video to the interwebs.
Webcams.
So, I know,
Not a
horrible.
good
Just
idea.
bad
It's a
ideas.
bad idea.
Bad ideas.
It's bad idea, genes. And I think that's it for tonight. So thanks, everybody, for listening. We'll be back. Please tell your friends to subscribe. If they're into whiskey, they'll love the podcast. Leave us a review. Do all that stuff. Check us out on social media. There we go.
Cheers.
See you
Night,
guys.
night.
Ladies on the menge.